Hello and welcome back to Vibran Sea. Today we're going to be talking about my journey with intuitive exercise and how you too can find peace with your body and find joyful movement that will make you feel good inside and out. So let's get into it. Intuitive exercise, simply put, is connecting with your body to figure out what best benefits both your physical and mental state. So it's not following a specific exercise plan where check its leg day, check its arm day. Instead, it's really thinking, what does my body need today to feel mentally and physically well? So I know that can sound like a mouthful, and it kind of is. It's definitely a process, but you will come out of it feeling so much better with your relationship with your body, with your exercise, and with your mental health overall. Before we jump into my personal favorite tips for working on your relationship with exercise, I just wanted to share my personal background and story with exercise. I'll keep it short and sweet, but basically, I did study sports management and applied physiology in college, but at the same time, I was studying to become a professional dancer. So I was working out 2 hours a day generally, plus rehearsals for usually 4 hours every night, and a dance class or two during the day. So it was a tremendous amount of exercise. And of course, because dance centers so much on aesthetics, I was really striving to have a certain very, very trim physique. And that didn't stop once I graduated college. I actually did land a gig for 3 years touring professionally with a dance company, internationally and domestically. So every day I was putting on a show, plus rehearsing and doing my own physical workouts outside of the dance studio, usually weightlifting or doing elliptical. When I was touring with the dance company, I began to feel that the more that I was working out, the less well I actually felt. And I think that this is very common for athletes and also for people who are just in the wellness and health field. We're constantly told that we should be getting better, stronger, faster, more fit, and more aesthetically correct, for lack of a better term. But what I found was the more that I worked out, the less able my body was to get over stress injuries and repetitive injuries. I have a lot of back issues. I've had bilateral fractures on my L4 and a protruding disc in my back, and I could feel some of those stress injuries coming back the more that I was putting my body through insane amounts of rigorous exercise. And along the way, the more that I exercised, the less that I enjoyed it. I originally had a really great love of working out and getting in the gym, but by the end of my college experience, and absolutely after 2 years of being a professional dancer, I was so drained mentally and physically. I wasn't feeling like myself, and my body didn't feel good. So I realized that I had to find a different way to move forward. My journey with intuitive exercise began once I left the dance world. I decided that I wanted to really move my body from a place of positivity and enjoyment and pleasure. I didn't just want to be forcing myself to go to the gym every single day to simply fit a certain mold or aesthetic of how I should look. And when I let go of that fear of not only gaining weight or looking different, but also the fear that I wasn't working out hard enough or I wasn't doing this or that exercise, I really found that I excelled and did so much better. I focused on exercise I truly enjoyed. I didn't waste my time with things that made me feel bad physically or mentally, and I enjoyed what I was doing way more. And this was a revelation for me. I know it sounds very simple, but I always thought that intuitive exercise would mean that I wouldn't be pushing myself. I had seen intuitive exercise as kind of a cop-out or way to just be extra gentle on your body to the point where you're never pushing yourself. And that really scared me. But when I let myself go over and give in to that, I found that instead of it making me work out less or not challenge myself, I was just challenging myself in ways that I actually enjoyed. So instead of going and doing heavy weights, which I always just suffered through, I instead started to work on handstand practice and really building up the strength and stability to be able to do handstands. And for me, that was so much more rewarding. It was intrinsically motivating, so I did it more often. And similarly, because I wasn't forcing myself to grind out an hour on the elliptical, I went for really long walks with my friends and family and just enjoyed being around company and enjoying the outdoors. And because of that, I probably did more cardio than I would have done in the first place. So I actually haven't found it to be true that intuitive exercise makes you work out less hard. It just makes you more likely to prioritize the type of movement that you actually enjoy. And what's better than that? Let's get into some tips. I know that intuitive exercise can seem a little overwhelming or just very broad and hard to figure out how to make it apply to you. So I want to give you some easy tips to get you started. So tip number one, I would definitely say get creative with what exercise means, because a lot of people think exercise, they go to running on the elliptical, doing weights, doing box jumps, all that good stuff. And those are all amazing exercises, but there's so much more to exercise than just that. You don't ever have to even step foot in a gym. And honestly, I don't. I haven't had a gym membership in over a year, and I look the same, if not better, than I did a year ago. So it obviously can be done. You can stay fit, you can hit your fitness goals without ever stepping foot in a gym. What do I mean by get creative? Well, there's so many exercises that we don't traditionally think of as exercise. So belly dancing, dance in general, hooping, I'll insert some clips. I love hooping. It is such an incredible workout, and I'm sure but most people wouldn't even know what it is. But for me, it gets me motivated to go outside, to move my body, to be inventive and creative with the way that I move it. And for me, that makes me more likely to exercise. So for you, it might be hiking. You might love being outdoors, hanging with your friends. That's an incredible exercise. If you have a beach, you can snorkel, you can surf, you can paddleboard, you can just swim. Or if you're not somebody who enjoys any sort of kind of outdoor activity, maybe just blast your favorite songs and dance around your living room like a maniac for 30 minutes. You will get an insane sweat on, you will feel good, you will have the same endorphin rush as if you had gone and done elliptical in the gym. So that's what I mean by get creative. Just find ways that are inventive, that make you move your body, that feel good to you. Tip number two is make a why. And what I mean by that is pick a mantra or just pick something that makes you motivated internally to work out. So this isn't necessarily going to be a physical thing like I want to be shredded, I want to have abs. I don't really work from that place anymore. In fact, I really try to not think of those thoughts. Instead, I think of either goals that are metrics that will let me reach a certain task, like I want to be able to hold a handstand for 10 seconds. That's an incredible goal for me to work on, and trust me, I'm not there yet, but it gives me something specific to strive towards that makes me more likely to want to do exercises that will build towards that. But if you aren't internally motivated to hit a certain fitness goal, like a certain number of pull-ups, a certain amount of miles run, etc., maybe a goal for you could be, I want to hike 10 different places this summer. That's an incredible goal. Or if you just want to be around your friends more, every week I'm going to do a workout with my friend. Something that lets you hang out with them and gives you positive reinforcement in that way. Or if you're somebody who really doesn't think of themselves as someone who enjoys exercise, make it that every time you want to listen to your favorite show, your favorite podcast, a book on tape, or a new CD that came out, you take a walk. You put in your headphones and you take a walk and you listen to that, but only when you're taking a walk. That way you're creating a positive relationship with exercise, because that's what intuitive exercise is all about. You want to change your exercise relationship from one that feels like a have to one that you really enjoy and look forward to. That will make you more likely to do it in general. So tip number 3 is an easy one, and I highly recommend it, and that is keep your exercise gear out in the open where you can easily access it and where you're more likely to be reminded of your fitness goals. So for me, I like to keep my hula hoops out in the living room, and that's not just because I have a small apartment, it is because I really do enjoy having them there. I'm more likely to get up and just decide to play around outside with them, to work on a new move, than just sit around and watch another hour of mind-numbing TV. And even if you don't have a lot of exercise equipment, maybe if you just have a specific space that you know is kind of your exercise space and you keep it prepared for working out, or you can simply just keep your running shoes by the front door. These are all positive motivators that help you see and remember your goals. Tip number 4 is something that I have personally struggled with, and that is finding balance. I like to think of a tightrope. If you're on a tightrope and you wobble to one side, if you overcorrect and really move your body to the other side, you're gonna fall off. And that is not bueno, right? So For me, the way that this translates to exercise is that if you're on this tightrope of exercise where you're trying to find moderation, not go to one extreme or the other, if you have a little wobble where maybe you miss a day of working out, you aren't feeling 100%, you're sick, you simply don't want to do it, you might feel that weird need that we get to go in the extreme other direction and just smash out, I'm going to start doing 7 workouts a week and I'm going to do like a crazy workout plan that doesn't really appeal to me, but I think it'll get those results. Gonna tell you from personal experience, I don't find that to be beneficial or to lead to that end result I'm looking for. In fact, it makes me more likely to swing right back to the other direction, which is full couch potato mode. Instead, strive for that middle ground. Don't try to do any crazy, too good to be true, insane 7-day-a-week workout plans. And similarly, try not to just spend every day watching TV, relaxed on your couch. Try to find an in-between. When you're on that tightrope, you want to find moderation and balance. You don't want to find these extremes of no exercise versus insane levels of athletic performance. Find that middle ground, find that stability, because you're more likely to stay there and to continue towards your goals. So tip number 5 is for everybody stuck at home right now. Consider doing a Zoom class or just getting along with a bunch of your friends on a video chat to work out. I find this to be really fun. Yes, it's probably not as intense as if you were to go to a live class, but I've really enjoyed doing these random Zoom yoga classes and Pilates and Zumba. I've really enjoyed just connecting with the online world, especially while we're stuck at home. A lot of these are free. All you need to do is to get an app like Zoom, or you could also do Instagram Lives that people have going on. These are all great ways to connect with a community, to feel a little bit more part of the loop and get your sweat on. Tip number 6 is a bit more serious, and I think it's incredibly important to touch on. Intuitive exercise scares a lot of people because they're worried about gaining weight. And that is because a lot of people see exercise simply as a way to control their body, to punish their body, and to make up for overeating or for perceived wrongs with their body. And it's just incredibly sad. And it's something I've personally dealt with, especially being a dancer. Your aesthetics can mean the difference between having a job and not having a job. And while I don't agree with that mindset at all, and it's part of the reason that I left the dance world, I see it constantly. And even if you aren't a professional athlete or dancer, there's still such a strong emphasis on how we look in today's society. So my word to you is just please don't use exercise as a way to compensate for things you've done or to punish your body. Punishing your body is never the answer, and if anything, it's going to make you less likely to move your body and to exercise and to be healthy. Because if you don't like the movement you're doing and you associate it with hating your body, why would you ever want to do that again? It's such a negative feedback loop. So really, I urge you, please don't do that. Eat healthily, consider examining your eating habits as well, but don't put the brunt of this on exercise. Exercise should be about creating a positive relationship with your mind and your body. And the more that you make and feed into a positive feedback loop with exercise, the more you're going to want to move. And ironically, the more likely you are to fit your health goals. And I can speak on this personally. I find now that I am in much better physical shape than I was the prior year because I'm actually doing exercise that I like to do, and therefore I'm doing much more of it, even though it doesn't feel like I'm ever doing any structured exercise at all. So tip number 7 is my absolute favorite, especially for people who are gym rats and want to give intuitive exercise a try, and that is keep a journal. For a lot of us who are used to very regimented exercise plans, it can be a little scary or overwhelming to let go of all of that structure at once. So what I would recommend is keep a journal or keep a notes in your notes app on your phone of your exercise. And the reason for this is twofold. Firstly, it's going to help you see what type of exercise you've really been enjoying. You can look back and see what's made you more likely to work out for longer, or what things you've just been really vibing on that week, and that's wonderful. And it also will let you see that you're probably doing more athletic activity than you think you are, especially for those of us who used to train at a really high caliber. So it's a great way just to check in with yourself and see what practices are really benefiting your body and your mind. And I really personally love it. I do use it myself. I will insert my notes app right here so you can get an idea if you want some idea of structure. I am trying to hit certain cardio goals right now. I want to be able to really expand my lung capacity so I can dive for longer, so I can run faster because I suck at running. And this has been a really good way for me to work on that without getting too obsessive with structured exercise plans. So what I do is every heart up there stands for a different category of exercise. One of them is cardio, one of them is Pilates, one of them is like stretching and yoga, etc. So each one I'm trying to hit once a week so that I create a rainbow. So every week I should have a lot of different colors down, and of course I get creative within those categories. Cardio for me can be swimming in the ocean, it can be snorkeling, it can be hiking, walking, running, an actual high intensity interval training workout on YouTube, anything in that caliber. So it still has a lot of flexibility. It still is using the principles of intuitive exercise, but it's also giving me a little structure so I can hit my goals. And I think it's really great for someone who's just starting out. So give it a try, let me know what you think. Tip 8 is my final tip, and it's simply connect with how you're feeling. In the process of intuitive exercise, it's not just about hitting physical goals and markers, it's about really rebuilding your relationship with exercise and your body and self. So really sit down. It can be at the end of your workout, just close your eyes for a minute and feel your heart beating and think about how you felt during your workout. It can be at the end of the day, just checking in with your muscle soreness, your fatigue, and really just giving thanks to have a body that's able to do so much. Anything that you can do to create a more positive relationship with yourself, with your body, and exercise is so incredibly beneficial. Health is not just a physical outcome and outlook, it's so internal, and that's what we often neglect. So I really urge you at home, give yourself love, give yourself some perspective, and really take time to dive into what makes you want to move. All right, those were my top 8 tips for starting intuitive exercise. I am going to leave you with my personal intuitive exercise for today to give you a little sample of what it looked like for me today. And I also just would like to challenge you to physically try intuitive exercise for 2 weeks. Commit yourself mentally and physically to working internally with your body to feel your absolute best. Apply the tips. Really believe and lean into it and see where it brings you. For me, it's brought me a lot of peace with myself, my body, and fitness. So try it out for yourself. Let me know how it goes. And I will leave you just with what I did today. Okay, bye guys. Hey guys, so today I wanted to show you what intuitive exercise looks like for me. So today I'm feeling really energetic, had that extra cup of coffee, and I'm ready to do some body weight. Let's do it. As I do the workout, I wanted to give you a little bit more insight into why I intuitively chose body weight for today. So I've been doing a lot of light, more casual exercise like walking and yoga. So I decided I wanted to really feel the burn today, do something that really challenged me physically. And I wanted it to be pretty short and sweet, which is why I chose a circuit. I definitely had other things that I wanted to get done today. So this fit in really nicely. It was a good little sweaty sesh, and I definitely by the end of it was feeling the burn. I did a final round of push-ups that definitely killed me, as you can see here. And afterwards, I just did a little bit of handstand prep to finish up, just for play and just for the heck of it. I hope this video helps you find a more sustainable relationship with exercise. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more vibrancy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.